All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something that so many of us struggle with, and it can be really painful. Perfectionism. You know, that constant chase for perfection. It feels like a good thing, right? But, as we're about to see, it's often the source of some pretty deep suffering.
I mean, seriously, just for a second, have you ever felt that like crushing weight of needing to be perfect all the time? If you're nodding along right now, yeah, you are definitely in the right place.
And just look at these symptoms. Man, they are exhausting, right? It's that voice in your head that just torments you over every little mistake. It's when you start criticizing other people for their flaws, too. It's losing sleep, just tossing and turning over some impossible ideal. And all of it just boils down to that awful, sinking feeling that you're just never, ever good enough. So that brings us right to our first big idea here, the tyranny of perfection. And I love that word tyranny, because we tend to think of perfectionism as this great quality, a strength even. But really, it's more like a prison we build for ourselves.
So here's the thing. The whole problem, the root of this tyranny, is that we're demanding something that is literally impossible. We set this bar for ourselves that's completely flawless, and then, and this is the kicker, we often expect the same thing from everyone around us. It's a game that's rigged from the start. There's no way to win.
And that impossible demand? Well, it leads us straight into our next section, chasing an unattainable ideal. This is where we really have to get honest about the broken logic behind perfectionism.
Just look at this. It lays it all out, plain and simple. On one side, you've got the demand the perfectionist makes. I must be perfect. And on the other side, the simple, unavoidable reality. No human is perfect. Same goes for other people. That gap, the space between those two columns, that's where all the anxiety and the frustration and the suffering lives. We're basically chasing a ghost. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. As long as we are living in this world with a physical body, a certain imperfection will always remain. It's basically saying, look, being human means being imperfect. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's just part of the deal of being alive.
Okay, so if we can't escape it, then what? What are we supposed to do? Well, that leads us to maybe the most powerful idea in this whole explainer, the gift of imperfection. Yeah, you heard that right, a gift. This is where we're going to flip the entire script. Check out this process, because this is how growth actually works. It is not a straight line. It's messy. It starts with, you guessed it, failure and setbacks. And it's those very screw-ups that make us pause and reflect and actually learn something. That leads to a new awareness, we recover, and we end up with not a perfect life, no, but a better one. Our imperfections are literally the fuel for this whole engine of growth.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Imperfection isn't the obstacle to growth. It is the path to growth. For so long, we've treated it like the enemy, right? The thing we have to defeat. But the big aha moment here is that our flaws, our mistakes, that's the actual road we have to walk down to become better, wiser people. All right, so this sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do this? That brings us to section 4, aiming for better, not perfect. This is all about changing the target we're aiming for. And here's the big mindset shift. We're letting go of that old goal, right? The perfect life. The one with no mistakes, no flaws, the one that's completely impossible. And instead, we're grabbing onto a new goal, a better life. One that's actually defined by learning and growing and getting back up when you fall. It's just so much more compassionate and actually achievable. And hey, here's a really practical tool for you, the 80% principle. Think about it. Getting something, a project, an essay, whatever, to 80% done is usually pretty manageable. But that last 20%, to get it from 80 to 100% perfect, oh man, that's where like 80% of the stress and the time and the agony comes in. So the 80% principle isn't about being lazy, not at all. It's a smart strategy to do great work, but then let go before you hit the point of diminishing returns. It's choosing done over perfect, progress over paralysis. And it all comes down to this. This is the absolute key takeaway. If you remember just one thing, make it this. The important thing is not to live a perfect life, but to live a better life. The real goal isn't to be flawless. It's just to be a little better than you were yesterday. The goal isn't a life with no scars. It's a life that's richer and wiser because of.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Our final section, embracing your imperfect self. This is all about taking this new way of thinking and really making it a part of how you see yourself and your whole journey through life.
Oh, I absolutely love this metaphor from the source material, The School of the Soul. Just picture it. Life isn't a final exam where you have to get 100%. No. It's a classroom, a training ground, and we're all just students. And what do students do in school? They're clumsy. They make mistakes. It's not only allowed, it's expected. The mistakes aren't failures. They're literally the homework.
So this becomes your new mindset. 3 simple things to tell yourself. Number 1, I am a student and it is absolutely okay to be clumsy. Number 2, my mistakes aren't failures, they're just part of my curriculum. And maybe most important of all, self-forgiveness is essential for learning. I mean, think about it. You can't learn anything if you're just beating yourself up for not knowing the answer already.
And so that leaves us with one last question to take with you. If we really truly accept that our imperfections are where all the real learning starts, then the question isn't how can I be perfect anymore? The real question is, what's your next lesson? What's the next beautiful mistake you get to learn from?